Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and I want to say hello, my little baby cancers. Hello, cancers. How you doing today? The way this video is going to work out is the first half is going to be all about you and your energy and the story behind that, and then we're going to be looking at you and another person's energy and the story behind that. This is mostly for my sun signs, but moon and rising are always welcomed. This is just about the message resonating. So let's look what's going on with your energy. Oh no! Okay, well that's good. Oh, okay, I love a solution. I am all about a solution. You know me. I don't like to leave things unspoken, unknowing. Okay, so I've got some good stuff to talk about, which I love. So let's first talk about the energy that made me be like, oh no, and I felt for you. So, oh my goodness, it's such a vibe with the Five of Pentacles and the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands shows you not being able to either connect or, more importantly, allow yourself. That is definitely the thesis of this current spread, to enjoy or dream or wish for whatever this be your passion. What's your ultimate thing you would like to manifest right now, whether this be another person, an activity, a happiness, a state of mind or being, whatever it is, it's this feeling of like you're repressing yourself. Now, a lot of that influence is coming from the mindset coming over in the Five of Pentacles. This is a lacking mindset. Maybe you think that it's just the opposite of abundance. You think you are without, or there is a limit, or it's somehow a struggle, and it's this very much, I don't want to say woe is me because that puts a negative connotation on it, but it's that vibe of like, how could this happen to me? Like, why me? And it's being aware, and we're going to talk about how you're going to overcome that, of saying like, you don't have to take on that mentality. I know there might be things in front of you that show opposite, but or say that there is lacking, but there's always a way to change that. We don't have to let that be the dominant narrative, and then unfortunately leak over to other parts of your life where you start to suppress what really makes you happy. The more you suppress, the less you are able to then turn it around. And we don't want that for you. So we have over here this extremely positive narrative with the Magician card and the Nine of Wands in reverse. Both of these indicate that you're actually way closer than you are aware of being able to turn this around 180. The Magician card is one of my absolute favorite manifestation cards. Compared to something like the Nine of Wands, Nine of Cups, which is more of like a you wish it, you got it. That's cool. Or the Queen of Pentacles, she's cool too. She can create stuff with her hands, and she's very generous and sees abundance through her giving. The Magician is more of a solitary personal journey. And we already talked about how this is very much an inner, struggle that you're going to overcome. But the Magician is fully in control. They have every tool in their belt to use to their advantage because they are master all of them. And when I say tools, I'm referring to they understand how to work with money. They understand how to connect to the universe. They understand to connect to their heart. They know how to use their mind. There is a beautiful awareness of all of it. But the funny thing is, you don't need to be in this mindset and be like, oh, I don't know how my body functions. On some subconscious level, you do, and you've got that worked out. You know what I mean? There's just a missing component or two that can be kind of abstract in order to get to the Magician's mindset. And this is somebody who not only can manifest once, but they can manifest multiple times in every single way you can think possible. They're not limited to one way of manifesting, which we love. Total different energy than what's going on over here. And may I say, they know what they want. They're not afraid to ask for it, and they do receive it and give it to themselves, which we love. But the Nine of Wands not only is a positive omen saying like, you're so close, you're almost there, you just have one last thing. It does give the indication that you unfortunately are the thing getting in the way. And we talked about what's getting in the way with the Five of Pentacles. The positive news, though, is when we have a Knight of Wands situation, this implies the universe is actually working to our advantage more than we know. And we just kind of need to get out of the way in order to let it do what it needs to do in order to make our dreams come true. Or in this case, make us the version of ourselves that can make our own dreams come true, which again, I cannot preference enough how much I love this for you. So the getting out of the way right here starts off in the Five of Pentacles. Stop putting a label on what is or isn't. That's the first thing. Just get out of your head. Stop. Just don't judge things. Allow things to be without any form of good or bad or with or without or why not me or because of me. Just get out of that head. Let the universe do its thing. It knows what you secretly want. But we can get more specific over here. So here we have you in the middle trying to make a decision and you're stuck. And it's kind of interesting because the problem in itself is that you think you need to choose. And the choices you're viewing them as feel kind of like out of the way. So over here we have more of the social situation. It's fun, hanging out with friends, having a good time, being the life of the party. I'm being told by spirit guides that it's like you can have this, but there is a guilt behind it for some reason. And there's already a form of suppressing and not allowing yourself to just enjoy this. By allowing yourself to enjoy it, this is a way of the universe working itself out. You're saying to the universe, I am abundant. I allow myself to be abundant. That's the key thing. Over here, though, is more of a work mentality. But the work mentality and the way, and I'm just simply defining it as work, but this also includes things like getting errands done, living your life in order to be a functioning human being and member of society. For whatever reason, you also have a negative connotation towards that too. You find it overwhelming. You feel like you're starting to kind of slip up or things aren't quite maybe aligning in the exact way you want. You feel overwhelmed, like it's too much. Now, this is a clue and indicator that you should probably let one or two things off of your plate and maybe simplify it for now in order to mentally overcome what you think is like an obstacle in your way. This can totally help. Easy solution right there. But it's the awareness that you are allowed to be somebody who is like having this and that. You don't need to choose or think one is going to overshadow the other. There is a way to find balance between everything, but right now, the way you view, the way you balance functioning in life and handling the everyday, and because you feel like it's something you're not able to balance, it makes your brain think you're not able to handle this as well. But you can. There's ways to simplify it. It's just an attitude change, but it's the permission of saying, I can have it all. I don't need to make a decision. I do also want to point out that I'm being told about is between the swords and the water in the background. Two of Swords is interesting. Everyone focuses on it being just simply the mind, and it is, but it's the awareness that the water's in the background too, representing the heart. We make decisions with our mind and our heart. Do not forget your heart. That is just as an important component as the other. And right now, we know you're suppressing your heart in the Two of Wands in reverse. You're not allowing yourself to dream and be passionate and give yourself that. When you tune a little more into that and see how the two can work hand in hand, you will notice a lot more pathways opening up for you. But specifically, we know where you're going, which we love. So let's get into, what deck was I using? This one? Okay, let's get into the story with somebody else. So that's the energy. What's the story? Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's get into it. So first off, I want to talk about the energy going on here. Everybody can, put their own reasoning and titles behind tarot. That's the thing I love about tarot. It is a language that is unique to each single person with their own tarot deck. And for me, my Four of Swords is my ghosting card. And I can tell by the position of it, you have been, like, this is a person who kind of gets their way and you're just kind of a victim to whatever they decide. And you have been tired of it. for some time now. It is exhausting and you're done. You're done with it. And this is where we get the energy in the Knight of Swords. But I am going to clarify, we're going to go over a bit of a warning popping up in the Four of Cups. So the Knight of, this is you saying like, I'm tired, I'm done, I'm tired of like this person getting to have all the say of what's going to happen next. And over here in the Knight of Swords, this is you saying, listen, I'm speaking up for myself, I'm done, I'm tired of this, I'm making a decision, and this is super empowering and wonderful. And in any other case and spread, I would be like, yeah, good for you, go for it, tell them that you're done with this and that this is how you want it to be. But I want to get into specifics. When we have a Four of Cups in reverse situation, I think this is an interesting warning to pop up. This is when somebody makes a decision that's kind of outlandish, maybe not their normal choice, or they just, in some cases they freak out, or in others, in this case, you're just speaking up. So I wouldn't describe that as freaking out. But it's the warning that you're only doing this because you feel like you're being put in a position, or you feel, keywords, you feel like you are being put into some sort of box. It doesn't mean there is one and that you are in it, but you feel that way. And it's saying, don't do that. You're going to act irrationally and you're going to regret it. It is not going to be the thing that you want to experience. And we can actually talk into specifics of what is maybe the other way you can handle the situation. I do want to give you a bit of a warning with this other person popping up with the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Swords in reverse. It makes a clear explanation of where your feelings come from and how you're being treated. So in the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, there's no other way to put this. This is a person who's a flake. They just kind of do what they want. It's a lot of instant gratification. If they can't get it from you, they'll get it from someone else. You know what I mean? Like they don't simply, they do what they want when they want. And that's why you feel like they get all of the sort of control and decision making in a way that you're like almost powerless to. It's kind of interesting. I mean, this is another reason why you might feel like your boat's being rocked, so to speak, because when we also have a Four of Cups in reverse situation, this is when you're into somebody who's not normally the type of person you would naturally be drawn to. So you feel confused because it feels special being into someone that you normally wouldn't be into. But that's the thing. They're just someone that's not your normal type. And maybe it's something you should consider asking yourself. I mean, keep in mind, we're all allowed to date outside of what we think we're into. But it's just kind of one of those read behind the lines or between the lines you should kind of consider of like, well, maybe them not being your type is not necessarily the best, but to each their own. But also in addition to that, the Four of Swords. This is somebody who tends to get their way and is a bit of a manipulator because they're incredibly good with words and they just know how to kind of, I guess you could say, out-logic you. And they tend to be very charismatic and want to take the dominant lead in the conversation and where things go and how it can benefit them. So we have somebody who's a bit flaky and a bit controlling. But we have the kind of guidance popping through in the King of Cups, and you're basically being told, focus more on the King of Cups personality. This is somebody who's able to back away and they're looking at every scenario emotionally, even their own, as if like, take your own feelings and pretend this is a friend of yours. And imagine you're looking at a friend of yours in this relationship, in this situation scenario. Don't just simply think good, bad. Understanding practically what's happening. Ask questions like, is this serving them or the couple? Is this coming from the best intentions? Am I coming from the best intentions? Or the friend, we're putting your feelings in the friend boat. Is this a way, would that friend be happier with someone else? What does that friend ultimately want in the long term from this? Or if they could idealize what their perfect version of a relationship would be, what would that be? And being able to kind of take that more observational, less emotional standpoint, you're then able to make the best decisions for your emotions and how you would like to interact in a way you would be happier with and feel more like you. That's the key thing popping through. How can we allow you to feel more like you? Because the way these things have been interacting is you just don't feel like you, and it makes you react in ways you don't feel like you just kind of feel you feel off, essentially. The other thing popping up is the making amends. Making amends is a very interesting terminology here. It's not about you forgiving them or like it almost this is going to be hard to explain because it's kind of abstract. It's like you're forgiving the actions that were placed upon you and you're forgiving yourself and how you reacted. Now that is to each their own with your decision making in the long term with how this is. You can either forgive them and move on. It's very open-ended. This isn't one of those scenarios where I can tell you what happens next. This is your own decision making in this case. There's not a guarantee because you still have some things you need to personally work out. The important thing to note though is you want to leave this without this feeling, or not leave this, sorry, I'm not trying to put that out there. Whatever happens next, you want to feel like this part has been emotionally conquered and solved. And you can do that and gain a greater sense of control over who you are, what you want, how you can view this situation by simply forgiving that aspect of what's happened. Again, it's not about forgiving them and that they deserve forgiveness or anything, it's just about the actions that you feel like you've allowed to be placed on you and the ways you've reacted and just kind of coming to terms with that and being like, it's okay that happened. It's okay. I understand. I'm seeing the bigger picture. Again, that observational perspective, which is beautiful. And then from there, you make whatever decision your heart desires. But this is basically more important about the main warning coming in is your spirit guides want you to feel happy with who you are and the decisions you make and not come from a reactive sort of perspective. And this way, no matter what you do, where it goes in the long term, you're going to be happy with who you are and how you want things to be and feel more in control of you and therefore your fate. And we love that. We love that emotional control. You know who else is in control? The magician. Like I said, this person is a master in all departments, and that's you, baby. I hope you don't mind that I said baby. Anyways, if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. I'm wishing you the best in all regards. Have a beautiful day. Again, like, comment, subscribe, helps the channel like you would not believe. I will see you in the next one. Bye!